Hello and welcome to Sega Saturdays. This is the second video in our weekly show that focuses on Sega games, classic Sega games. If you're into retro, this show really is for you. We're just going to look at footage of an old game. In this case, it's Crazy Taxi, and we're going to talk about the game. We've got all sorts of regular features. You'll love it. So, I'm GamesRadar Executive Editor Andy Hartup, and I'm joined by Justin Towell.
Hello.
Ian Mr. Trophy Wilson.
Hello.
And Dave Horton.
Hello.
So, this week, Crazy Taxi, playing on Dreamcast. Ian, looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I'm intrigued by this undersea driving bit.
Did you never drive under the sea?
No.
There's secret people under the sea.
Oh, wow.
And of course, if you look, he's wearing a snorkel.
Well, that would explain why he was waiting for a taxi under the sea then.
But does that make the driver some kind of crazy fishman with hidden gills?
You're not under the water for very long.
But even so, it's
I still think the engine would have been flooded.
I think so, yeah. This game's nonsense, Justin.
It's admittedly not very realistic then. If you leave them underwater too long, do they drown?
No, but you ran out of time.
Gillman. Gillman.
Weird gill monster man. Okay, so yeah, it does look pretty good. This game's set in San Francisco, isn't it?
Roughly, yes. Yeah,
roughly San Francisco.
But it's got the hills. It's got real life locations as well. They go to places like KFC, there's KFC.
Product placement.
The Levi's store, but then things like Tower Records, which don't exist anymore.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's almost a historical document as much as a game.
Yeah.
In generations, people will look back at Crazy Taxi in museums.
No sign of our pricing here.
No.
No, it's very American.
C&A or whatever.
Andy's Records.
Yeah. Fine name for a record company,
It was.
I feel. Now, anyone who watched the show last week will know that we like to challenge Justin to name as many facts about this Sega game, because Justin is a huge Sega fan. We challenge him to name as many facts as he can in 30 seconds. Justin has nothing written down, this is all coming from memory. So, Justin, are you ready for your Sega fact challenge?
I am, but this one's not even been researched, this is just from my brain, so this is a real test of...
We are going to have to check these facts thoroughly.
I always recommend
Did we clear him using his brain this time around? Because there's usually a form for that.
I did not, so this is going rogue. Alright, Justin, your time starts now.
Okay, Crazy Taxi came out in the arcades in 1999, Games Dreamcast in 2000. It was on the Naomi hardware on arcade, which actually has twice the RAM that a Dreamcast does. They had to work out a way to get the RAM down into it. It's got music by The Offspring and Bad Religion. There are 3 tracks in The Offspring, 3 from Bad Religion. Also, where we're talking about the locations, this is the only version of the game that has all of the licensed locations in it. This also has different voices to the Acclaim versions for PS2, and there's swearing on the soundtrack. There's swearing on the soundtrack.
The buzzer noise a little bit more forceful this week. How do you think you did then, Justin?
I did alright there, actually. Can I elaborate on the soundtrack swearing?
No.
Okay.
Only if you can just say words.
As we have established, there are no late fact submissions.
No retrograde factoids in this show.
Doing my job.
So, Justin, now we were quite mean to you when we said that you can't elaborate on the F-bomb. I want to talk a little bit about the soundtrack because when I was playing this game on Dreamcast, the soundtrack it felt like one game that had really sort of nailed licensed soundtracks.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, tell us a little bit about what's on there, and you know.
Okay, well, there are 3 songs on there from The Offspring. One of them is All I Want, which is the one that goes yeah 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 yeah, which actually we played on the very last. I played it on the guitar, didn't I? The very last GamesRadar UK podcast. Yes. And 2 from Bad Religion. Well, there's Way Down the Line from The Offspring, All I Want, and then there's Change the World, which is just the drum bit from Change the World as well, and that's from Ixnay on the Hombre.
Oh yeah, does it use up the menus? Or,
yes, it does.
Yeah.
Because when you boot it up, it goes yeah.
How's that go?
Yeah.
Oh, don't leave me hanging, people.
Do we have to pay a license fee if we say that
every time?
We were wondering that about.
Yeah.
I think if we do another series of yeahs, then we may have to. Yeah. So just no more.
Okay.
Oh, no more. Yeah. I mean, it was sort of. It just feels right, doesn't it? Like the sort of punky soundtrack. The the sun-drenched Californian setting.
Yeah.
It's
General
just
sort of
really
anarchic,
evocative.
sort of mentally fast anarchic driving model where it's just kind of who cares what gets wrecked as long as it's fun. You know, and
Exactly. But I'll tell you what, the other versions that didn't have the license for The Offspring and Bad Religion is not quite as good.
Well, no, it won't
However,
be.
if you do put on an album like Americana, so Offspring around the time,
Yeah.
then it does fit. So
I
it
don't
really is
own
just an Offspring kind
Americana
of game.
though. I listen to better stuff
really?
generally. Yeah.
Which was the one? Which was the one with with the X-ray on the front?
Oh,
Smash. wasn't
Smash.
it?
Yeah.
That was my favourite one.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
badass. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey,
That's something everyone can enjoy.
yeah, quite.
yeah, that
Speaking
sounds
of which, actually, I've got a story about Crazy Taxi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh cool.
So, when this came out, it was on Dreamcast. So I was at university at the time, so this one time, right? And it fell about 15 stories, and I found out later it actually landed on the Prime Minister of Australia.
Oh God.
Good. Really. What's he doing?
So she just snaps on the rubber glove and went for it.
God, this is getting like the story from last week, isn't it?
But you see, the funny thing was, I never realised it was a funeral. So I just put my clothes back on and left.
You've got to be more
really
aware of where you
inappropriate.
And
are.
the broccoli looked just like Simon Cowell.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, I tried to wipe on the curtains, but the Crazy Taxi disc, it's just been sticky ever since, so it doesn't really play.
Yeah.
They frown on that.
Okay, what was the deal with legal last week? Did we get away with that last one? Because
I think it was fine.
Oh, right, okay, good.
Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it, really.
Yeah.
All right, in this last bit of the show, we're going to talk about the sequel, because there is a sequel to this coming out, and you've actually been playing it, haven't you?
Yes, I have. There's it's an iPhone version of it. I mean, Kenji Kano, who produced this one, came up with the idea, has been involved in making the new one. So it does feel a bit like Crazy Taxi.
We should acknowledge there was a Crazy Taxi 2 before this, though.
And a Crazy Taxi 3.
Was there?
Yes,
Wow.
Xbox.
No.
Xbox had Crazy Taxi 3, Xbox One did.
Oh, right.
But it wasn't very good. And in fact, Crazy Taxi 2 was not as good as the original.
No, it wasn't.
Nothing
They
has
put that
come-
jump mechanic in, which is weird.
Yeah, you could press
yeah,
Y and jump over everything. You could also pick up more than one person at once.
So obviously, when you say Xbox One, you mean the original Xbox.
I do, the original Xbox.
Yeah, the original Xbox.
Yeah, though I wouldn't have put it past them to use that as a big launch title, to be fair.
No, so just looking at the new game on iOS, it just looks
Yeah.
like the soul's been torn out of
It does.
Well, it's still got elements of Crazy Taxi that make it Crazy Taxi, and you play it and you think, yes, this is a Crazy Taxi game. It stands for the same things, but at the same time, I know what you mean. It's kind of got that new art style.
It's
that
that
a lot of-
generic iOS art style.
Yeah,
Everything's
a lot of
everything's
games
just a
have
little
these
bit
days.
soft and cartoony, but with no personality to it. You know, it's
Yeah.
By the way, Sega, if you're listening, we appreciate a retweet. Just slagged off your iOS game. I'm sure it'll be fine. So now we come to the part of the show which I think is fast becoming a favourite among the lady listeners, watchers of all of the show. I don't know what I'm talking about.
no.
It's Dave's haiku review.
Okay.
Where Dave reviews the game in a haiku. So silence, please. Dave.
Fast blue sky profits. My customers may well die, but punk never will.
Dave, that was a haiku.
That was indeed a haiku. Yeah, very profound. I like it a lot. Yeah. So anyway, yes, Crazy Taxi. Any closing thoughts, Ian? Any more closing thoughts on Crazy Taxi? We were criticised last week for not going into enough detail on Streets of Rage and
Yeah.
talking about basically the boring technical stuff.
Wow, I think one of the things we were criticised for was not mentioning the soundtrack, and I think we've definitely covered the soundtrack
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
really
week.
true. Yeah. Oh, we can't do that.
Oh, no,
No.
2 more years and we were in trouble there.
Nobody acknowledge anything for the rest of this podcast.
Well, I can add something to it then. The home version added Crazy Box mode,
Which was
you're looking
awesome.
at now on- yes, which
Yeah,
you're looking at now on the
I spent
screen.
an entire Christmas hammering that when I got a
Exactly,
DC that year.
but the great thing about Crazy Box mode is not just that it works as a high score thing in its own right with different
Really
challenges.
rude.
Yeah, it does.
But carry on.
It also teaches you the fundamental aspects of how to play
Yeah.
the game. Yeah, there's different control things. There's the Crazy Dash, the Crazy Drift, the Crazy Stop.
Yeah.
All of which you're using
Yeah.
in Crazy Box. And to get the best times, you have to use the techniques or you can't do it. So
Yeah.
it teaches you the amazing depth that this game has.
I mean, that's what I wanted to get into. Why it still looks and plays so damn fresh now. First, it's got that big, clean, beautiful, colourful thing that a lot of DC games had them. It's almost like flat shaded in places. So that stuff never dates, you know.
Yeah.
But the fact that it is one of those like instantly easy to pick up games, but there's so much finesse when you get into it that
It's incredible.
the game will mature as you do, as the way you play it does.
Yeah.
Basically, it's endlessly plumbable in terms of depth.
Okay. Well, that is a great place to leave it for this week. As ever, if you like the video, hit like. If you want to leave us a nice comment, do. If you want to leave us a bad comment, don't. This is now a series because there are 2 of these videos.
Yes.
So I assume that there'll be some sort of subscription mechanic, so please subscribe as well. And if you want us to sort of pick apart any of your favourite Sega games in the future, just let us know in the comments, and we'll probably roundly ignore you and never do them. No, that's not true. We will endeavour to do them. It all sort of depends on, essentially, on Justin's game collection.
It's quite extensive.
We will try our best to accommodate your wishes. So that's all from us this week. Goodbye.
Wow, yes, I like that. Okay, here we go.
Enjoyed that? Well, we've got more videos for you. If you want a more in-depth look at that Crazy Taxi mobile game, you can see the comparison here between the original and the new one. If you like hearing our voices, you could watch the posh British version of The Last of Us. It's not to everyone's taste, I'll warn you, but we thought it was pretty funny. And if you want to listen to me talk about racing games in more depth, then I did a little series on F1 2013, so do take a look at that. Cheers.